Welcome into Critical Misses. I am Tom TP Grant, and I go use he, him pronouns, and we were here playing Beyond the Twilight Road. I'm going to really quickly, let's go around the horn. I want to get to tonight's game. So we're going to go quick. We're going to start with Julio. Julio, how you doing tonight? Who you playing? And that's it.
Yeah, Julio here. Long time, first time, long time. He, him pronouns. Canario, party dad. Perpetually pissed off. Here to kick some ass and fuck the names. And that's it for me.
All right. Not sure how to bounce back from that. Velvet, how you doing?
I guess we're just doing announcements with the vigor of a wartime radio operator. I'm Velvet. My pronouns are Fae Fair. I'm playing Maeve, who also does Fae Fair pronouns. I'm trading you dice today, so we're going to fuck up a lot.
So we're just doing we're live from the front where we're giving Jerry a reel. All right, moving on down to Kelsey. Kelsey, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm good. I use she, her pronouns. Tonight I'm going to be Twilight Harper, an angry book nerd, and I am ready to get my shit wrecked.
Excellent. Faye, how are you?
I'm doing good. I am almost Faye, or Faye, if you're nasty, fuck it. I use she, they, faith pronouns. And I'm going to be playing Zia. And I've just broke Tom.
Anna, you got to top this. It's gotten better each time. So what do you got?
My transatlantic accent coming to you live upon the internet to tell you my name is Anna and I use she, they pronouns. And today I will be playing Mcnashka, who is almost surely about to be killed by the terrible wastage of tomb rot. Will it happen? Find out next on Beyond the Twilight Road. Do dramatic music.
I honestly think we're done for the night already.
All right, we're going. No.
Wrap it on up, we're done.
If you can't tell, we're in a bit of a mood tonight, as we're all very excited to get back to our game. As we left off last time, the party wandering through the Twilight Wood, trying to seek entry to the Twilight Court. They had a few happenings while they were moving through the wood. They encountered some Grendel zombies, one of which was the one who Mcnashka had taken the horns from, and it wanted its horns back. And in the resulting fight, Maeve turned into a powerful howl bear, a new ability that no one was aware that Faye had. And Mcnashka received a nearly mortal wound, saved only through the skilled hands of Canario, but is now carrying the strange mossy growth that has been covering the zombie Grendels that have been wandering through the forest. In that moment after the fight, Maeve suddenly heard the call of the Earl King moving out into the forest, finding the Earl King and being told to carry a message to the Twilight Court. And as we left off, the party had decided to push on through the dark hours of the night, deeper into the forest, and we ended with them being surrounded by a group of elves, all wearing varieties of purple tinted armor, wearing the emblems of the Twilight Court. I believe we ended with an arrow being pointed directly in Zia's face, as it was asked who these people were and what brought them to the Twilight Court. So we are going to re-enter there as you find yourself surrounded by elves having seemingly appeared from nowhere. Strange coloration to them. They are all deathly pale with a blue tint to them. Their eyes are of varying degrees of colors, anywhere from yellow to purple to blue, all of them having cat slits instead of your standard pupils. Arrows pointed at you, and one particular emerges with raven black hair, yellow eyes, in elaborate armor, carrying a shield and a very stylized spear. And they stand before you and say, "State your names and your business in the Twilight Court, lest we slay you." Come on, speak up. Hurry.
Travelers, we have a message for the sisters.
A message from whom?
From the Earl King.
There's going to be a turn back, and the elf who seems to be in charge waves their hands as if like down, and the arrows not unknocked, but the bows are unpulled, and they are relaxed slightly as they stand out, and the captain turns to you all. The Earl King.
I'm going to draw bear form so they can see the symbol of the Earl King on my mask.
And who are you?
Why, we are but weary travelers along the road.
Well, I implore you not to waste my time. Where do you come from? And pointing at Mabe with the mark on the face. And who are you?
Who is but a function of what, and what I do is follow the call.
Long sigh. Just turns to look at Mcnashka and eyes your wound immediately and sees the moss growing. Says, You have the walking death. Are you still with us?
I am oath sworn to see this one, just like looks over at Canario, to the end of our journey, to the end of the Twilight Road.
Oath
Death
sworn.
cannot come for me before then.
The Twilight Road is behind you. It leads north. You stand at the precipice of the Twilight Court. You say you bring a message from the Earl King.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why are you blue? Are you sick? Are you guys feeling okay?
The captain walks over to you and looks at you and like seems to look you in the eyes, but not in a challenging way, but in a way that seems to be assessing, like actually examining your eyes. And it says, or they say, for the same reason that you're turning green.
What? That's not it. Oh, shit. Okay.
Do you not know?
No.
You, pointing at Mcnashka, oath sworn. Whom do you carry a message from?
A message from the Earl King saying that the newcomer seeks to overcome the stag at the stone table. We were told expressly to deliver this to the Twilight Sisters.
Wait here. This is beyond my ability to allow you in. But at pointing at your wound, that will complicate things. Wait here. I will return with word. And you see the guard, the larger group remains surrounding you, but the captain seems to walk off, leaving you all a bit of time of privacy.
Guys, am I actually turning green? I thought I was still dripping out on blood. Oh, okay.
And B's just nodding at you.
Yeah, you're about 3 shades past a frog.
Mcnashka's just gonna plop down there on the ground. I definitely thought that was a me thing, but you are green.
I thought I was high.
That's different.
I've
I
heard it's
thought
not
you
easy.
were.
My condolences.
Cause I get high. Cause I get high.
Do you think it was the flowers? I mean, it had to be something that you ate, and I think that's the only thing you had that I didn't.
There's a long list of things it could have been.
Yeah, fair.
Oh well, this will be fun.
Won't it just?
I would like to find the smartest looking of the elves.
Ooh.
Oh,
And-
no.
Judgy? None of your
smartest looking-
fools, only the smart ones.
What was the valedictorian medal?
Yeah.
possibly one, not necessarily the most important looking, but like the smartest looking, most intelligent looking.
I mean,
I want to ask, I'm going to point at Mcnashka and I'm going to say, is that contagious?
The elf looks at you and he just kind of doesn't answer. You're now just stuck in like this awkward staring contest now with this elf as you're just both sitting there.
Oh, Agnieszka, are my eyes going cat-like like theirs?
I don't know. Are they?
I don't know. I can't see them.
You see the slightest tint of yellow coming into the eyes, but the pupils remain the same.
It's weird. They look the same, but it's like you're turning into something that you used to be.
I've always been an elf.
Yeah. I mean more like them. Like I don't think they're blue because they're sick. I think they're blue because they've been living here a long time.
Fair enough. And Zia's going to sit down next to Agnieszka and pull out like a flask. Do you want a drink?
Yeah, actually, I really would.
There's a flurry of motion as you see two figures emerging from the forest. One of them, the captain, and there's another figure walking behind them, distinctly feminine, human-looking, except for the fact that her hair is long and silver. She's dressed in a flowing robe, and she has mismatched eyes, one hazel and one pale green, and you see the cat slits in them again. And the captain turns and says, I present to you, emissary of the Twilight Court, Cressida Brunk. And the woman bows and says, I have heard from the captain about your situation and the complications that you carry with you, indicating Agnieszka. This will require a conference with the sisters themselves to secure you entry to the court. However, I can acquire for you a temporary place to stay if you will follow me. Your safety is assured for the night. No harm will come to you. And Captain Eivor here will accompany you for the rest of the evening. If the Twilight Sisters decide not to see you, you will be shown to the edge of our lands. If they decide to see you, I myself will take you to their presence. Is this acceptable to you?
This isn't going to be a problem with me in the same room as them for a long time, is it?
Looking down at it and saying, their decision will be made soon, which I imagine will be best for you, as I can't imagine you have long. I apologize for being the bearer of bad news, but we've seen wounds like this before, and those who suffer them do not tend to live very long. She holds out her hand and she said, come, I will show you to the place to stay.
I'm going to look over at Canario, kind of like, is this like, are we doing this?
He won't leave Agnieszka alone.
You are all invited. All of you are given a safe night's rest.
Yeah, once I get the nod from Canario, I'll follow.
So, is everyone going?
Yeah, as we walk, Zia's gonna be like, do you guys have booze? Agnieszka,
when you stand, your wound sends racking pain up your body. And the emissary Cressida's hand catches yours, and you feel it being actually surprisingly strong as she kind of anchors you through it. Almost like she was expecting it. And she looks at you apologetically and saying, we have seen that wound many times before.
Thank you for a good night's rest before it's all over, I guess.
Her eyes flick to your third eye, and she says, that, however, we do not see frequently. That is very interesting.
People keep telling me this is interesting. I wish they would tell me what it means.
She gives you a little smile, and she says, I think the sisters will wish to see you. And I think they will be able to tell you what it means. Come. She turns with a little flourish to lead you all deeper into the woods.
We follow.
As you follow, you are led to what appears to be a fairly large tree with a staircase carved into the side of it. And at the top, there is not an elaborate house, I guess is the word, not the word I was looking for, but enclosure up the top of it. It's not an elaborate one, but it is nice enough as you are led up. And there are what is essentially some blankets and some furs thrown down to make it comfortable. And you all are going to be able to lay down. And the Captain Eivor, the elf who had come with you with the raven black hair and the green skin, remains there. Though they have set their spear down, they've set their shield to the side, and they seem to be sitting quite relaxed. And saying, go, rest. You can rest easy here for tonight. Our people are on watch. You will be safe.
Before we rest, does there happen to be a library I could see?
I'm terribly sorry, but we have not extended that level of guest rights to you at this moment. Your safety is assured, though we require you to stay here for the time being.
Okay.
Eivor is going to, well, first of all, is there anyone that wants to have a conversation before I initiate something?
I'd like Zia to ask B a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
B, that book you stole, does it have healing stuff in it? And can I read it?
I'm gonna kind of hold my bag a little bit closer protectively. Just on reflex. And I say, I looked through it when it happened, and I didn't see anything that would help. That's why I asked about the library.
I have an idea. Can I please read it?
What are you looking for?
I can't tell you that.
You don't understand. If anything happens to this book, I can't leave the road.
I'll be sitting right here. You can watch me, just don't watch what I'm reading.
Okay. I'm gonna hand over the book, and I'm gonna stare very closely over their shoulder.
Zia's just gonna plop down and start searching the book for anything to do with Fey deals.
Oh, for Fey deals?
Mm-hmm.
As you page through, this book appears to be dedicated to the etheric winds, the winds of magic, specifically leaning more towards the jade winds. You do find some aspects of references to the Fey, as certain Fey seem to have a great affinity for particular winds, almost as if they're beings of those winds, being mostly jade and amber winds with a few other exceptions. Though you see nothing about Fey bargains, as this seems to be mostly focused on the wielding of magic by mortals and not a book concerning the Fey.
Okay. They just hand the book back. So I'll ask questions in the morning. and then they're just going to curl up to sleep.
I was going to say, we'll come back to you in a second, but Eivor is going to kind of sit next to you as you're looking at the book. So we'll jump back. First, I want to jump over to Mcnashka and Canario. Mcnashka. Oh, sorry. I was tossing it to you. Sorry, Anna. Like
No, I know. I'm just.
No, it's okay. You two are the night is pretty still.
Thinking.
The elf guards have largely retreated and given you a lot of space. The only one present is Eivor, who seems to be having a conversation with Z in very low voices. And the rest seem to be somewhat distracted as you and Canario find yourself sitting near each other. You feel a pulsing pain deep within your wound. You're not sure you're going to be able to sleep tonight.
This will teach me to... yeah.
Mcnashka, you seem more worried than usual.
This will teach me to make promises that have a specific endpoint.
Well, was there no specific endpoint for ours?
To the end of the Twilight Road.
And
their captain said it's behind us now.
But did we reach the very end of it? Did we cross that line together? Knowingly?
My mother did always tell me I would see my death twice. I guess the question is this the first time or the second time?
Well, let us recount. I'm sure this is neither of the two.
Yeah, me too. Canario, if you should march south again, alone, back to Milan and Pune.
Yes.
Would you take the drum with you? It'd be a shame for it to never see a battlefield.
Of course. Gladly, I'll take the drum with me. But my friend, that's no way of talking right now.
If.
We'll see when. But perhaps we can figure something out.
If anyone can, it's you.
Well, I'm afraid this is something beyond my purview, but if there's some way I can learn about this, I'll figure out a way.
Thank you.
No thanks. It's the least I can do for a friend.
Not for this.
Then for what?
For accepting my oath.
Yeah. Don't thank me for that. We've been traveling around together for a while now, and I know what it means for your kind. And I must say, on the road is quite lonely, and Sometimes it feels good to have a friend like you. Someone that I can trust, especially amongst these companions of ours. Mcnashka, we're going to make it through this.
To the end, my friend.
May we never find the end. We just keep on going on and on. For your sake, at least.
And as Mcnashka and Canario privately have this, Eivor sits next to Faye. I'm sorry, next to Zia, played by Faye. Sits down next to Zia and looking at you, says, "So, when did it happen?"
The green thing?
Yes.
See, I've been having some fun with some different fey things. You know, drinking goblin blood for shits and giggles. I ate a part of a blood rose, and now I'm turning green, apparently. I thought I was still high.
Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose. I know how it feels. As Eivor leans in. I know what you're feeling. The emptiness, the feeling like you don't belong anywhere, like you need to go home, but there is no home to go to.
Why does this feel like I'm getting talked into a cult?
No, it is simply a path that many of us have walked. Many of our people, as indicating the ears and kind of pointing over at Mabe, who at this point I'm not sure what Mabe is doing, but maybe turned back into a wolf and napping.
I'm trying to get some metal in a forge, but go on.
Mm-hmm. As pointing at many of our people feel the exact same way you do. We are refugees. We were cast out, our homeland destroyed. My parents once saw Old Elfland. They were from there. They were part of the first wave of those who were sent to the main continent where we all live. We lost our purpose, and many of us find ourselves seeking it again. Now, whatever you find is for you. I found serving the Fae, and indicates the eyes and the pale blue skin. I myself have now become Fae.
Am I becoming Fae? Is that why I'm green?
Yes, you can. Some are born Fae, pointing like over at Mcnashka. Some, indicating himself, choose to become Fae, and indicating you. Some become Fae by their actions. Tell me, after you drank the blood, I'm sure you felt aggressive.
Yeah.
Have you given in to that feeling?
Maybe.
Smash cut montage of sea fighting things. I would think, based on what I see, that you are becoming one of the Goblinkin.
Interesting.
If this is a case, then welcome, for this will be your home. The goblins are part of the court. Well, she looks off, they would look off, and they were, before they chose the newcomer, or at least most of them. But if this is the way that you are walking, then this shall be your home.
Can Fae make deals with other Fae?
Of course. We often swear alliances and oaths to others. I am sworn to the Twilight Sisters as their sworn captain of their Glade Guard.
Do you think there's any way to save my friend?
Looking over at Agnieszka, I don't know. The sisters are capable of many things, though we have seen many wounded by the newcomers' monstrosities, and it is a terrible illness, whatever this is. Whatever blight they have brought upon us, it is terrible.
They're not immune to fire. They do not like fire.
The ones who have died and still walk?
Yeah.
This is useful. Thank you.
Burn your deads, kids.
Well, reflect on that. As if you were walking the path I think you're walking, this may be your home.
Feels more like home than anywhere else.
I felt much the same way the first time I stepped inside the wood.
Zia would just kind of nod and look across at their traveling party, like definitely cementing things in their mind.
Would anyone else like a moment for the night, or do you all sleep? You will not need to do watches here, as you will have a very restful night.
I would like to try to get my grubby paws on some spare metal, and I don't even need the forge, I just need the metal.
At this point in this particular location, metal would be very hard to come by, as you're in essentially what would look like, it looks like it's a watchtower that they threw some bedrolls in, basically.
Fair.
Like it's someone's spare room that they threw some sleeping bags in, essentially.
Oh wait, I don't need metal. I have my 7 gold. I will use those to try to finish that golden apple.
Ooh. Roll me an incantation test at -20, because this is outside your win.
Plus 10, Tom.
Yes, invoke all the chaos, please. I'm just going to pull up the mishap table for no particular
That's a 5 on the
wow.
incantation.
Okay, yeah. Roll me all those d6s now.
How many is that? 3 or 4?
That would be 3. Well, it's outside your win, so it's 4.
Well, 1 6.
Nice.
Once 5, once 2, and just so you're aware, because of some lovely bonuses I took. Oh no, never mind. This doesn't apply.
Okay.
Yeah, so just 1 6.
Roll me a d100, just out of curiosity.
Also, I would just like the record to state that B would be like keeping an eye on this,
just
like
looking
watching,
over. Mm-hmm.
Just like, what are you doing over there, friend?
That's a 41 on the D100.
Okay. All right. What happened? What do you do to your apple? How do you do this?
So I think my apple there was some progress made on it, but I think I'm gonna just kind of hold it and just kind of like scoop it up in my hand along with the 7 gold coins. And then since I've been using blood for everything, I think I'm just gonna like bite my lip and spit the blood on it and like try to like diamond crush it into like a proper golden apple.
It appears to work. The apple solidifies, it becomes heavy in your hand, and it gains a golden sheen. And B, you see this transformation happen before your eyes.
And I kind of like, I see it happen, and then from wherever I am in this room, I just kind of like, I scoot on over, and I'm like, what did you just do?
I finished the apple.
Yeah, but like, what did you do? How did you do it?
I squished
What wind
metal
did you
together.
use?
Yellow.
How does it feel?
Heavy. Tingly.
What did you use to do it? Like, what materials did you have?
I had the gold coins I got from that I found on the ground. That night we had that goblin attack. And
I
some
looked
blood.
I looked down at my bag and I noticed that I also have several gold coins. Can I try?
Yeah, you can make whatever you want gold.
And I'm gonna pull out the gold coins, all but one of them, and I'll leave one in the bag. And I'm gonna try to turn it into a small just like a small shape. Depending on if I'm successful, I would decide on the shape later.
You gonna make a bumblebee?
No. So I need to look up my numbers. So I'm gonna do the thing. How many? What's my like modifier here?
What are you attempting to do precisely?
I took all but one of the coins from my bag, and I'm going to turn them into a small shape.
All right.
Like Maeve did.
So same thing, -20 incantation, and you're rolling 1 chaos dice immediately. And Maeve, I'm gonna need you to roll that D100 again twice.
Twice? Okay.
Oh no.
And because of the Black Magister thing, it's a critical success. I don't know if that just makes the apple more golden, but
the apple, like it transforms. I would say it is absolutely pure gold at this point. It's actually worth quite a bit of money if you were to melt it down. So
that's 31 and 18.
31 and 18. Oh, excellent.
Oh no. So I'm just gonna add 1 extra chaos dice.
All right.
So I'll be at a -10 essentially from my total.
B, I'm over here putting the bar up at 3 chaos dice. You're gonna hit me with 2?
Well, we'll get to you in a second because you rolled some interesting stuff.
Oh no.
Perfect.
Nah, Bea does not want to wait to see the consequences of this. She just wants to try. Okay.
Consequences, smash consequences.
No such thing as consequences.
I've never faced a consequence for anything I've done in my entire life.
That's not even a real word.
So I rolled 3 zeros.
Oh my. Roll me a D100 again, and Maeve.
I didn't get any 6s, so.
Maeve, well, roll me a D100.
Yep.
Maeve, your one of your limbs, as you are going to like finish this, suddenly freezes in place, and the apple shimmers beautifully, wonderfully. It seems to ripple, and it suddenly turns to water and just leaks through your hands.
Oh no.
And your arm is stuck like this. You can't move it. It doesn't hurt. It's just completely frozen.
Well.
Hey, B, what'd you roll?
So I'm picking out a new set of D100 because I rolled an 88.
Oh my.
So I rolled a 100 and then I rolled an 88 for my first 2 rolls of the evening. So I am not going to be rolling these dice anymore this evening.
So an 88.
We were left unsupervised, and this is what happened.
We're not unsupervised. We're being supervised actively.
Then this is the fault of the supervisors.
Oh my. Okay. Huh.
Oh no.
That's fundamentally unhelpful, honestly.
Oh no.
Huh.
Our party is literally the. Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna come up with something this as we roll along, because I rolled on the Taints of Chaos table for you, and the change is not well explained, so we'll come up with this.
Okay. Okay.
I have to come up with something suitably terrible. All right, so we're as now the apple is melted through your hands, and B, when you attempt to cast this, you feel the energy flow into you, and it flows into you, and you feel your mind cloud and your vision clouds, and you black out. You just drop. You're breathing. You appear to be alive. All your signs appear to be strong. You are just unconscious.
Was this happening all in the same room?
Yeah, you're all there.
With that sound of a thud of like a body dropping, Canario just turns and just breaks over to help her out.
Yeah, normally Mcnashka would follow, but they're not this time. Just gonna stay where I am.
Maeve, what was going on here?
Magic.
Oh God. Well, he just like stands over her the same way like a guy would stand over like a car with like the hood open and the engine is like, yeah, well.
And your hands on your hips.
Yeah, literally, he's just like, oh well. I don't know if there's anything I can do about this. But Twillaby. Well, she's breathing. What exactly was going on with this magic?
We were making things out of gold.
Transmuting? Or were you making gold into things? You said. Okay.
We were taking things and then making that into gold to make into things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this might be beyond my realm, but let's see. Use a heal check to kind of, I guess, get a grasp of her condition.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1.
Ooh, like a 1-1.
Yeah, 0-0-1.
You have seen this once before. Hold on. I've
seen this before.
When you were south in the wars of the Bretons versus the Summer Court, when you were fighting with the mercenaries brought in the rebellion against the Summer Court, you saw a mage attempt to channel magic and have it trapped within them, and it seemingly temporarily drove them mad.
So, you know what? We've got to get the magic out of her.
I want to try something. Can I try to fix both of us by like soaking up the excess magic into my now frozen hand?
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to say that this is a resolve test. And it's going to be at -20. This is going to be really hard.
Okay.
But you can attempt to do so.
Can I use my gallows humor to use my guile instead of my resolve for this?
You can.
Perfect.
Would this be a resolve check for just Mabe or both of us?
For Mabe, you're still out cold.
All right, that's at minus what?
-20.
Okay. Oh, barely. All right, that's 18 out of like 25.
Oh, wow. Okay. Boy, B is spared. I was just having quite the private chat with Anna, being like, where are the proper disorders that I want to inflict?
Consequences? I don't know her.
There are no consequences, just coincidences. Things that coincidentally happened after I did some bullshit.
As you pull the magic out, you can feel the violent energies that B drew into her. It was over-aggressive. It was, might we say, a touch arrogant for her to touch those powers. As you feel the raw force, and you are able to dispel some of it out back into the world before it is able to harm you. B, you are racked with pain. Your entire body aches. Your head feels like a nail is being driven into it. Your thoughts are clouded, but your mind is your own. Thanks to Maeve.
Well, maybe it seems like you've got this one taken care of.
Taken care of what? Nothing happened.
I just mean, I'm gonna leave this up. You'll learn your lesson. And then Canario goes
We won't.
back to Mcnashka.
All right. At this point, is there anything else he wants to do, or are you guys going to go to sleep? We're all good? Okay.
Agnieszka's not going to sleep.
Yes.
She is very scared shitless and trying not to show, but she's not falling asleep.
If anyone is currently on their peril trackers, you can move up one on your peril tracker as you have spent the night in a safe place. You are awakened in the mid-morning. You are allowed to sleep for some time as you see the emissary Cressida sitting amongst you, smiling as you all awake. And she says, "Good morning to you all. The Twilight Sisters have granted you an audience. When you are prepared, we may stand before them, and they will hear your message from the Earl King." And she looks down at Mcnashka, and you are more than welcome to attend. They specifically mentioned they wish to see the one touched by the Winter Mother, as Cressida indicates your third eye.
That's new. Okay. Well, I'm ready.
You all are led down back to the forest floor and into the deepest part of the forest that you've seen. And while the coverage of the trees is intense, there is a path for you to walk that is easy and obvious. Though despite it being at best, when you were in the treehouse, you actually could see the sky, and it was clearly somewhere in like around 10 o'clock. As you move into the forest now, it is dark as night, except for the fact that in the trees there appear to be lanterns that appear to be emitting a soft, almost starlight-like light, giving the entire forest the feeling of twilight. You move through, and a colossal tree suddenly stands before you. Its center having a massive crack in it with a gate standing open, swung inward. More of those elves that you saw that surrounded you standing guard, precisely placed in different locations. You are led inside. In the center of the tree is a massive open space with a staircase spiraling up inside of it. As you're led up, as the tree opens up into several different branches, there is a palace built within that space. And in the largest room, filled with shadows, stands 2 chairs carved from wood. And there are 2 figures sitting in each of those chairs as you are led in. Cressida turns to you all and say, present yourselves, state your names, and they will hear what you have to say. I implore you all, they are, looking back, Cressida looks at you, I once stood where you stood as a mortal. They are not of this world. Please be polite. Do not make the same mistakes I did. Bow. Be nice. Looking over at B.
Why are you looking at me?
The fact that you had that reaction tells me everything I need to know, dear.
Mcnashka's still using the fire-hardened spear more honestly at this point as like a walking stick than a spear, but I'll just go up towards where the two chairs are.
So you see two fae sitting in them, both femme presenting. One with pale blue skin, raven black hair, and positively frigid blue eyes. She has a flowing black skirt like the deepest cobalt blue of a moonless sky. The other has a greenish tint to her skin, fiery red hair. She wears a dress cut through the center to reveal her midsection and cut along the side, revealing her leg, but it so closely matches her skin, it's hard to tell at times where the dress ends and the skin begins. As they both look at you, the one with red hair says, Sister, this one is already dead. What good is she to us? And the one with blue skin goes, Silence, Dahlia. I would have to hear what the one touched by the Winter Mother has to say. And looks down at you, Mcnashka, and says, You carry an eye, the mark of our patron. Where did you receive that?
As it happens, not one of my better moments. I drank some goblin blood.
You opened yourself to the Fae, and she saw you, did she not?
I've never heard her called the Winter Mother before, though. This is new.
She is the one who rules all of winter, even the Queen of Air and Darkness. She is older than time itself, and it is said that she holds her eyes in her hands and can see all. You carry her mark. And Dahlia, the red-haired one, says, You also carry the sickness of the newcomer and are likely to be dead by the end of the day. Tell us, why do you stand before us quickly before you expire? You mortals are so fleeting.
I am Mcnashka, and I come here as a one-time sworn soldier of the Winter King's army, is now oath sworn to my traveling companion, and gestures towards Canario, to reach the end of the Twilight Road with a message for the sisters from the Earl King. And the message is this.
You see they both perk up at that moment. They both sit up and lean forward.
That the newcomer is on their way to destroy the White Stag at the Stone Table.
They exchange a look with each other, and there is a deep amount of information in that look. And the pale, cold one turns back to you and says, They seek to bring the Earl King to the Stone Table.
I don't know what it means, but that is what we were told.
The newcomer grows very bold. And Dahlia says, Naira, we should deal with her. We could swat her aside. And the pale one, who you now know to be Naira, says, Sister, for us to be involved would elevate the newcomer. It would increase the imbalance. This is why I find This one, pointing at Mcnashka, particularly interesting. For we are threatened by an outsider, so what better to deal with an outsider than another outsider? You have this illness. Do you wish to die?
Not like this.
There is a solution to this. Are you familiar with champions? Courts of Fae have them. They carry a mantle. It comes with great power. That power could heal you.
I've heard stories, yes.
It comes with an oath. You would serve us for whatever remained of your life. I must warn you, champions' lives tend to be very short, but they exchange a smile, can be very intense.
Shorter than the end of today?
Potentially. Though, potentially longer.
And what is it you would ask of me to become a champion?
You would take an oath to serve us for the remainder of your days.
Dio would see if they could pair up.
Mm-hmm.
Must it be Agnieszka that takes the deal?
She is the one marked by the Winter Mother. She carries the newcomer's illness, though she has borne it with strength. Many do not last the first few minutes, much less a night. They look at you, both of them, and they say, You are becoming one of our people as well. And Dahlia, the red-headed one, says, The goblins have turned their back on us. Much room to move up there if you wish to serve. Many spaces for a goblin in our court at this moment.
If I pledge to you, could you heal my friend?
Naira, the cold one, says, Only the mantle of the champion can heal your friend. Your friend must pass the trial. If she succeeds, she will live. If she fails, the trial will kill her, and the sickness will not.
Then I accept.
Very well.
Mcnashka.
We will deal with that in a moment. The message you bring is quite troubling, and they turn to Mabe, and they say, You, the musk of the Earl King is all over you. You are one of his, are you not? He has spoken to you.
He has. The Earl King bid me inform you that he will draw the newcomer to the stone tablet, where they may be better dealt with.
Will he? What does he mean to do?
Make an example.
I was going to say, if Velvet is the Earl King offered to said if you send word that his oath was fulfilled, he would unleash the Wild Hunt.
Oh, sorry. I'll relay that. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah. So you see them look at each other, and a smile creeps across Naira's face, and it's the first time you've seen that particular one smile, and it's terrifying in the same way of like Angelina Jolie playing Maleficent smiling.
Hell yeah.
As she just that huge smile comes to her face, and she says, "Oh, that is delicious. I like this. There is but one problem that we will require a champion to resolve. So, turning to Z, do you wish to pledge yourself to us?
What does that entail?
You will simply serve us. We will make you The captain of our goblins, as our current captain, and they both kind of smile, came to a rather nasty end when he declared for the newcomer in our presence.
I will pledge to you.
Then speak the words that you pledge to be ours.
Out of character, is that just like Zia needs to say, like, I pledge to be part of the Twilight Court?
You feel something in your chest click into place. And they say, outstanding. You will act in our stead, and turning to Mcnashka, hopefully you will be accompanied by our new champion. If not, you will lead our forces. And they turn to Mcnashka, and Naira says, please follow me. The rest of you...
Wait, no, wait.
Yes?
Mcnashka, hold on. There's another reason for us to be here.
Yes?
Rothbard sends a question regarding their agreement for Tald with the Empire. What is the status?
Dahlia seems to become, like, you can see something royal behind her eyes. She says, they have done nothing to violate the agreement. This falls upon us. We shall make things right. Our Grendel, at least most of them, have followed a false leader. Morzak has committed himself to the Golden Forged and has led most of the Grendel to follow him. Given most of them became infected with this, and she points over to Mcnashka's wound, blight brought by the newcomer, and they are no longer living, but simply walking dead. We issue a sincere apology to the town of Tald, and will make reparations in blood with the Grendel.
Oh. I will let them know upon our arrival. Mcnashka, could I perhaps a chance to talk before?
By all means, as Naira says, by all means, it has been some time since we've had one that could withstand the trial of becoming champion.
Canario kind of leads Mcnashka away. Just takes both their hands in his. Agi, are you sure about this? This may be a fate worse than death. I'm sure you may know that. I don't want you to rush into this. I mean, we both know how the Fae could be. They tell us one thing when it turns out there may be other solutions. Are you certain?
Of this promise? No. But I am certain of two things. The first is that I would rather die with my sword in my hand than from this rot given me by a plague-infested cow. And the second thing I am sure of is that if I do not die with my sword in my hand, you will burn what's left of me.
Just... You are aware of how the Fae are and how this could change you. But if it's what you will, then I'll stand by it.
She's just gonna take the drum off. If you should march south. And only if.
He takes it in one hand, and then with the other hand, he brings Mcnashka in really close and just embraces him.
Yeah, same.
Oh, my friend. This isn't how it ends.
No.
You ready to do this?
As much as you can be, yes.
As you
Go get him,
turn,
champ.
okay.
Oh, go get him, champ.
As Party Dad gives that last bit of encouragement, and Mcnashka, you break from this embrace, Naira, without a word, is suddenly standing behind you. Over 6 feet tall, pale, beautiful, and absolute, she says, "Follow me." And she positively glides down the stairs. You are led down to the base level where you came in, and then you are led through a knobbled door under the tree. And you come into a fog-shrouded chamber. And as you move through the fog, a figure appears out of it. Clear and crystalline, an ice statue of an individual, frozen in an absolute moment of pain. And as you move through the fog, there is another, and then another. The ice statue is becoming more dense. You come to a fountain that seems to be emitting water, but an icy mist is absolutely flowing off of it. Naira turns to you and says, "Drink from the fountain thrice. Should you survive, our champion you shall be." And this is going to be, quite simply, a 2 out of 3. Roll me a toughness test as you take your first drink. Let me know if you critically succeed or critically fail, as that will matter.
Okay. That's a fail, but it's not a crit fail.
All right. You take your first drink, and it is cold going down. And as it hits your stomach, an iciness spreads through within you. You are able to use fortune points if you would like, as that coldness spreads, causing pain, racking pain. Would you like to use a fortune point? It's only one fail. If you fail again, that will be it. I will say crit fails cannot be re-rolled.
They cannot.
Yeah.
I'm using this one time, but I am far enough along on my chaos that I'm using one, and that's it.
All right, you're using one? Re-roll it.
That's a crit success.
Oh.
That's new.
Hey, Anna, you want to know what a crit success does?
Yeah, sure.
You feel that coldness spread. The pain begins and then stops. You, the chosen of winter, can bear this. As I'm counting crit successes as a double success, you have passed this challenge. You drink twice more, and it is as water. You feel a power flow through you. The moss that was spreading freezes and falls off. As you turn about, Naira, looking at you, says, "Well, well, a champion indeed. Come, we must report our success." I was not expecting a crit success on the first roll. That's excellent. Anna, at this point, you may unlock your features for your second profession. Oh, no, we just lost Mabe. So we're going to say at this point, it actually was a point. I'm going to pause here and we're going to take a break as we now have a champion of the Twilight Court amongst our party. We'll be right back with the rest of this episode. But yay, Mcnashka lives! And we are back as we are moving back into this chamber underneath the Twilight Court. One of the Twilight Sisters, the embodiment of the Winter Court, Naira, the cold, pragmatic sister, in her, standing next to her new champion, Mcnashka of the Twilight Court. You feel power absolutely surging through you. It feels like literal ice water moving through your veins. You feel coldness moving through you, but instead of feeling pain, it feels right. It feels correct. You feel a predatory instinct taking hold of you, as if you're almost a weapon that needs to be directed at this point. All of the weakness and the pain that came with that wound are gone. If you have any levels of injury left, I want you to move back up to normal. All peril is gone. And you've activated your new subclass or your new profession.
Yep. Okay.
You feel strong and ready. Let us return upstairs, champion, and report our success to my sister.
She will accept this now that the corruption is gone.
She will be ecstatic.
Good.
As you move back up, several of the elves who stand guard, before they were statue straight, unnoticing, as you move by, you see them turn and notice you. As there is an aura about you, you see several of them like incline their heads as you go by. As you are led back up, you see the rest of your group standing there with Dahlia sitting, brooding on her chair, looking very unsettled, I would say, as she is sitting there impatiently drumming her fingers. She survived, Sniper says. She thrived. We have a champion. And Naira sits back on her chair. And Mcnashka, you have a moment with your friends, if you so wish.
Do I look different at all?
No, you don't.
Okay.
You look, the wound on your side is completely gone.
Right.
So this whole time, Canario's been gripping the ropes of the drum very tightly with both hands. And the moment Mcnashka comes out, he rushes them and just gives them a big hug. You've done it, but at what cost? How do you feel?
Better now that I'm not going to die tonight.
I'm glad. You might as well have this back. And he hands them the drum. I'm glad you're still with us.
So am I. So am I.
Naira's voice cuts out saying, so, we have two before us who have sworn themselves to us. We have a complication. And turns to Maeve and says, the Twilight Court thanks you for bringing the message to us from the Earl King, and turning to Bee and Canario, and from the village. The Grendel will be dealt with. The plan the Earl King proposes is acceptable, except for one detail. The stone table is in the heart of the old growth. The tree folk hold that area. And the tree folk currently stand neutral. The Grendel have betrayed the saplings of the tree folk. They are held hostage by the followers of the newcomer to force the elder tree folk to stand aside. We require a champion to go forth and slay those holding the tree folk saplings hostage, to free them to rejoin our side. Once this is done, the stone table will become available to us, and we will be able to send word to the Earl King. This will be your first assignment. But we will ask you to avoid contact with the newcomer. She is very powerful. And Dahlia says, the newcomer has granted her powers, unnatural, but substantial. And Naira sniffs and says, the Golden Forge.
Unnatural how?
Naira turns to you and says, the Golden Forge is a pretender god. A measly mortal woman who pretends at power. She unlocked some measly necromancy and thinks herself mighty. We will dispense with her followers, and then we will find a way to deal with her. They use one of the old tricks of humanity, one of the oldest ways humans thought to imitate the Fae and imitate the immortal, to make death a new form of life. It never works. We've seen it many times.
And you're sure that this isn't going to happen to me now?
We have... The mantle has cleared it. She points at your wound. You are naught but power now, dear. But this is something for the morrow. You all are still quite tired from your journeys. You have been traveling for some time, and there are things yet to do. We will make our move tomorrow. We grant you, and indicating B, Mabe, and Canario, we grant you full guest rights. You may move about. You have complete safety. You may eat. You may drink. You may make yourself merry. On the morrow, we will send out our champion and our new goblin servant to deal with this. The other three are free to do as you wish. But until then, our captain will show you all to your quarters. Does anyone else have anything for the Twilight Sisters?
No.
As the rest of you leave, Mcnashka, as you're moving, you hear Naira shout, champion, and you stop as if you hit the end of a leash. You will be spending the night with us. The rest of you are free to go.
Oh.
We'll be all right, friend.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We'll see you in the morning then.
So, as the rest of you move, you are given free reign of the Twilight Fortress. What would you like to do?
Once we're back in our quarters or wherever, I want to ask Captain Ahor, is that his name?
Avor.
Their name?
Yeah. Avor is their name.
Oh, V.
A-V-O-R. Avor.
A-V-O-R. I would like to ask them if they can take me to the library.
You wish to go to the library? Yes. But be warned, some of the things are not for mortal eyes. I bear no responsibility for what you find there.
All in the pursuit of knowledge, right?
Yes, I've heard that one before. You were brought into, as you leave the main shoot of the tree, you come to a large cylinder-like chamber with a spiral stair through it. Books just lining the walls on every side. What is it that you are looking for?
A few things. There's a couple things that I would like to research. The first thing that I would like to research is a little more about the Silver Wind, if I can find it.
Oh.
A spell book, perhaps, or stories of past masters of the Silver Wind. Anything that I haven't seen before about the Silver Wind.
Roll me. Hold on, let me check my skills real quick because I just crossed up my system super hard. Because I don't feel like awareness is appropriate for this. I will say, you know what? How long are you taking to do this?
I mean, well, we have most of the day, right?
Yep.
Or like half the day, roughly. So I'll probably take I would probably want to take like roughly an hour for each of the things, and there's like two main things that I want to look up.
Okay, if you want to take an hour, roll me an awareness test at plus 10.
Okay. Dang, I rolled a 94.
Would you like to re-roll that?
I would.
All right, go ahead.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. You find an old elven tome with a strange Y-like rune on it as you pull it out, and you begin reading about the great mage of, hold on, where is it? Bel Ulick, an elven mage from across the sea. One of the original great mages, a master of all the winds. And you hear of Old Elfland's mastery of magic, and particularly their cabal of mages who were all masters of the Silver Wind. And the miracles they could perform with the purity of the winds combined without the taints of the Abyssal Princes. And the stands they made against the Abyssal Princes. You read of Old Elfland, a constructed place made by what is only referred to as the Ancient Ones around a gate to the etheric realm, the home of the Fae and the Abyssal Princes far across the sea. You read of wars, of combats against demons, and the exploits of those with the magical ability to combine all the winds, to hold back the horrors of the abyss. You find in it descriptions of several spells. They are so far beyond your comprehension at this moment. Even looking at them, the runes start to swim before your eyes. The page seems to shimmer as if it's the surface of water, and you have to close it just looking at it to recenter yourself. But these are Silver Wind spells. And if only you could find a way to read them.
How closely is Captain Eivor watching me?
You are given full guest rights. You are free to look around whatever you want. So long as you do not betray your hosts or cause harm to any, you're good.
Anyway, betraying the host. I feel like tearing pages out of a book would count as betraying the host. Out of curiosity, what might I do to try to be able to read these pages?
You could roll me a resolve test.
Oh no. Ooh. Oh. That's not a bad idea. Because that's one of the advancements I took. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna roll a resolve test.
All right.
Are there any modifiers on this, or is it just whatever my...
I want to see what you roll. Let's just make it a flat test.
Okay.
You're trying to look at some words on a page.
Right. I rolled a 39 under 62.
You read of a spell, as best you can tell, imbues the ones around them with the power of the silver wind, allowing them to overcome adversity, pain, injury, to continue to fight, even in its most powerful form, to cause enemies to cower before them. You read of another that will imbue those with the power of the greatest heroes, channeling the silver wind into them to make them fight as the heroes of old, to hold the line against the forces of the abyss and all others who would come. It's battle magic, it's army magic, it's to imbue the soldiers around the mage with the power to stand and fight.
All right. So is that about the extent of what I can understand here?
Yeah. After
Okay.
that, you start getting a headache just looking at it.
That tracks. So the next thing that I wanted to look up is, you're all gonna cringe when I say this, but I wanted to look up necromancy, but not for me to use it. I wanted to look it up so that I want to see the effects on people that it has, specifically looking for a weakness that it might cause in its users.
Ooh.
As in looking for an advantage.
I dumped a lot of that success into that lore roll, that lore drop you just got, so I'm going to need another awareness test to search.
Another awareness test? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I made you roll the first time. Yes, an awareness test, not scrutinize.
Dang it. I rolled an 83.
Well, as best you can tell, horrific things such as necromancy, unnatural happenings do not seem to be recorded into this library.
That tracks. They'd probably keep that in the off-limits section.
As best as you can tell, there's not a forbidden section of this library.
Well, obviously they wouldn't keep it in the main library. It would be somewhere else. Somewhere that this captain would obviously not show me.
What are the rest of you doing with your time here? Besides Mcnashka, obviously. Rather occupied.
After leaving Mcnashka, Canario just goes to wherever they'd be sleeping, and he starts journaling. He starts just writing. He's in a very weird spot right now.
Mm-hmm. What does Canario write?
He starts journaling about his feelings towards the Fae, and how he does not trust them, and how he understands Mcnashka had to do what they had to survive, yet he wished that there was other ways, because he's sure this won't end well.
As Canario journals, what does Maeve do?
There wouldn't happen to be any natural pools of magic around, would there? Oh,
there's magic swirling all around. That amber wind swirl is still strong, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay, I think I want to find where it might be most concentrated here.
Mm-hmm. And what would you like to do?
Something irresponsible. I just haven't figured out quite what it is yet. Okay, so for the... Okay. All right, I think I figured out. I want to try the thing I talked to you about. So I'm going to cast Tongue of Beasts.
Ooh. All right, roll the incantation check. Honestly, I'm not as interested in the incantation this moment. Are you channeling?
No, I didn't say I was channeling before I rolled, but I rolled a 1. So
okay, yeah. So boom.
All right, and then I'm gonna go Howlbear.
All right. And
I'm not gonna channel for this one either because the channel doesn't really do anything for me besides extend the duration.
Mm-hmm.
That's 24.
All right.
This one I'm gonna channel for.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try the thing I talked to you about where I'm gonna. This might be mechanically weird because if I take an injury, I'll revert. But I want to see if I can rake myself with my own claws and then turn that blood into like cold iron or gold.
Oh, you want to start melding some of the winds together?
Yeah. I was Kaiju Bear. Now I want to be Mecha Kaiju Bear.
Roll me a incantation test at -20.
You mean +10?
I do, but I gotta set that first.
Okay. 38.
38. Oh my! And what'd you roll on all of your cast dice?
I'm about to roll those.
Yeah.
3, 5, 3. No chaos.
All right. So, you coat yourself with metal? Is that what you're going for?
I'm gonna like rake myself and then turn that blood into metal.
Your damage threshold will increase by 2 temporarily.
Oh.
As you coat yourself with spots of metal blood, and you hear a voice call out to you.
So eager to learn the true magic. The mortal way of dividing it into winds is beneath you. When you find me at the stone table, I can show you the true way of magic. But be wary dabbling, for the creatures of the abyss and the golden forge will be drawn to you.
And the voice ceases.
Cool. I will keep that in mind and end my experiment there.
Z, what are you doing?
Zia's gonna look to see if there is like a place that they can get kitted out with better, like if there's armor or weapons or anything.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I just knocked my headphones out. So if you're saying anything, I can't actually hear you right now. But yes, absolutely. As I want to say, Eivor basically finds you and says, "You've sworn an oath to the Twilight Sisters. You are now here. This is your home. Please come with me."
Okay. And Zia's just going to follow them.
What weapon do you prefer when you are fighting? For you will be facing many enemies of the Twilight Court.
You know, up until now, I've just kind of used black powder and set it on fire, or bit things.
Oh.
I kind of not like to bite things all the time.
Well, that's understandable. Tell me, what sort of weapon would you prefer? Name it or describe it, and we shall find it for you.
Do you have lightweight battle axes, sort of things? I don't know. I just kind of use whatever I could procure before.
They lead you into a room full of spears, bows, weapons of all variety, glowing slightly with fey magic. And they pick out one particular axe and they extend it towards you. Is this acceptable?
Perfect.
When you take it, it feels as if it was meant to be in your hand. It fits perfectly. The weight is perfect.
Oh, great. Is there like a training area or anything I could quickly go to?
Oh, yes, of course. Would you like to, and she indicates like an open space, would you like to go to the yard and test this out?
Sure.
Very well. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to say I'll send you I'm going to send you the tags for this weapon for combat.
Okay.
But you now have a battle axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a martial melee weapon. Do you have dots in martial melee?
Yeah, I have one.
All right. Well, you were able to use it then.
I have two in simple melee.
Ah. All right.
Oh well.
So I'm not going to make us roll for anything. Are you just looking to become more proficient, like get a feel for this weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burn off some energy.
So the Captain Eivor is a remarkably skilled warrior. So while you're not going to gain an obvious upper hand at any point, would you like to describe how your rather light sparring with highly dangerous weapons goes? It will clearly be somewhat reserved, but how does that go?
Zia would probably start off quite nervously because I'm like, I don't usually practice on people I don't want to murder. And then as they get into it, Zia's trying to fight dirty because that's the only way they know how to do this shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like if there's any like dirt or sand, like trying to put that into their eyes.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say for flavor's sake, the first time you do it, Eivor brings the shield up to block it. And it's one of those like, really? But I will say the second time you try Dirty Trick, after kicking sand up, what would you attempt after that?
Zia would go and try and do, like, you know the Black Widow thing with the legs?
Yes, yeah.
But like just get on her back and just like grab hold of the two sides of their head. Mm-hmm. And just be like sitting there like, this might work.
Yes, I'm going to say that one catches Eivor a bit off guard, and there's really those like, all right, I'll give you that one. As the spear then comes up and just rests on the side of your face, you probably need a plan for what you do after you do that, though. It's quite nice, though. At this point, I'd say you probably could bite.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But you're expecting that, and Zia
Yeah.
would like quickly put all their body weight forward to force like a flip.
Mm-hmm.
So that then the pair of them land on their back, and then it was the sort of wrestling thing where you keep someone's head between your legs.
Eivor goes with the throw to like take the fall safely, like jumps into it a bit, lands with arms out, and then you lock the legs underneath the chin, and you see Eivor look over at you and just be like, hold up a finger, like, all right, fine.
And then like Zia would get up.
As you get up, you see Canario standing there.
Hi.
Hello. How's it feel to be Goblin Chief, Captain, or whatever it is you agreed to?
I don't know. It's a thing. Why?
It seems you are just one long impulse after the other. The goblin blood, the drugs, Goblin Chief.
Okay, let's face it. I don't think you like me. And that's fine.
It's not so much that.
I didn't exactly fit in with you guys to start with.
Why do you say that?
I mean, you and Mcnashka were soldiers. Maeve and B have the whole magic thing. I'm just some asshole that smuggles shit.
And did it appear that we had some sort of, I don't know, theme going among us? Or just a ragtag group of travelers who keep finding ourselves in more Fey bullshit?
Naria, why do you actually care?
What do you mean?
You didn't know me before this.
No, you're right.
You didn't really know me during this, so why give a shit?
Well, I guess because shit's all I've really got to give at this point. You're not a bad person. You just make bad decisions. Again, you're impulsive, rash, and, well, the only qualm I have with you is that you think about yourself while you're in the company of others. And perhaps that's worked out for the best in the past when you've only ever had to worry about yourself, but in a situation like this, one little mistake on your end could end up on losing someone else's life, and maybe that's something you're comfortable dealing with, but not I. No, that's not something that I can fall asleep knowing.
Have I ever pulled you into my bullshit?
Long roundabout way it feels like you have, but
Have I ever deliberately pulled you into it? Not having you chase after me. That's not my choice, that's yours.
you're not wrong. But you see, Mcnashka likes to have fun. Twallaby, well, she's young and impressionable, and sometimes she can get caught up in other things. So at that point, I do need to give a shit. And I know we haven't seen eye to eye this whole trip, but I do have to care.
You don't give a shit about me. You give a shit about them. There's a difference there. Tell me something that you actually know about me. Other than my name. Or the name I gave you.
A smuggler. Let's see. Now
That's my job.
a
Told you.
goblin.
Something that hasn't been said by someone else.
No, not much.
How old am I?
Can never tell with the elves.
That's just racist. Just saying, Hannah mental.
Well, I mean, elves, you can't tell because you don't know how, elves live a long time.
Where are my parents? Why am I alone?
Is this something that we've discussed around the fire at any point? Is this something that you wanted to share, or is this something I should have asked you while you were on a binge, or...
I'm just saying, you're coming to me. You're coming to me now trying to make me care. When you don't give a shit. You only give a shit because my actions could hurt B or they could hurt Agnieszka. They are their own people. They get to make their own choices. I've never pressured anybody into doing anything.
You're not wrong. But keep in mind, influences can really cause some losses in the end. But you know what? Zia, you're not wrong. Do I care about you? No. 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 But as long as you're under my watch, I'll make sure you get out of this alive. It's an oath.
I'm not under your watch anymore. Can be glad of that. And Zia's gonna walk off into the woods by themselves.
Ooh.
We'll see how long their watch keeps you alive.
Where are you going, Zia?
Zia's just walking to try and find a space that no one is in. Like, no Fae, no one.
As you're walking, you see several of the guards of the Twilight Court, and they all nod to you and let you pass without comment, as you are now one of them.
When Zia's in the woods by themselves, they're going to make sure they're quite a bit away from, like, the fortress, and they're basically just going to fall to their knees and, like, let out a very primal scream as tears start to fall.
It's late at this point, as night clearly has fallen. Even beyond that, as you let this scream out into the woods, it seems to echo as you're on the edge of the Twilight's Court's influence. And the echo passes. There's a moment of pause. And you see some movement off in the distance. A lot of movement. As you see shuffling figures beginning to move out of the fog. Many, many of them. And a booming voice calls out, and you hear it clashing, almost as if someone is banging a weapon on a shield, a call of challenge, as a voice cries out, "Twilight Sisters, your death will ring out for the glory of my God and bring honor to my name. My blood is iron, and the sand is hungry." As you see behind those shuffling figures, a figure almost composed of pure shadow, seeming it has the horns of a Grendel, the legs of a Grendel, but is utter blackness, and wings seem to sweep out from it. And its edges run as if smoke, but its eyes burn that sickly blue gold as it points forward, and you see figures shuffling, a horde of them. What do you do?
Zia's gonna stand up and walk so that they're blocking the path of this horde of things. And just be like, not in the mood for this shit. And hope, like, putting their axe into their offhand, they're gonna pull out their flintlock and fire at the smoky creature.
All right, roll your attack.
Real quick, does Canario hear this?
That call echoes in a way that everyone hears it.
I am gonna re-roll that one.
All right, we're gonna use a reroll.
As a champion of the Twilight Court now, I feel duty bound to fuck this shit up.
Oh yeah,
so...
you hear that and you're like,
Yep.
Oh, shit's going down.
Yep.
Yep.
I am on my way.
Yeah, I would have heard that from wherever I was, presumably still in the library, and like just kind of closed the book and like gone to whatever like the ramparts, like the upper like wherever the archers usually are. I probably would have gone up there.
Yeah. Faye, what did you roll?
Yeah.
What is it that I'm rolling against?
You're rolling martial melee or martial range. Sorry.
So that is. There's nothing that the dots do, is there?
The dots add 10 to it, to your number.
I'm a dumbass. So that is that is 50 under 66.
Roll me damage.
So that is also with their plus 1d6 fury die for 3 treachery. One was a 6 and one was a 3, so one exploded.
Yeah, one exploded.
7, 10, 17 points of damage.
You see a puff of smoke explode where your shot hits, and it immediately closes up. The creature takes no damage as it swings back, and it says, "Child, you cannot harm me. Flee before the greatness of my horde." And it indicates a charge, and hundreds of these zombie Grendels begin to emerge from the forest. Sorry, not a magical weapon.
That's fine.
You are now, in this action, you have to choose. There's going to be several dozen of these things upon you if you do nothing.
Sia's going to throw the flintlock away and charge at the shadowy creature with the axe.
To be perfectly clear, there are about 100 zombies between you and the shadowy creature.
Yep, they don't care anymore.
All right. As Z lets out a heroic battle cry that echoes out to the rest of the party, you hear a scream, a cry of battle. What are the rest of you doing?
I am booking it as fast as I possibly can. Like, how long is it taking me to get to where I'm hearing this coming from?
This is pretty outside of where you all are. This took some time to get to where you are.
Okay.
Question: Are we? Can I sense that we are like about to enter combat? Like, is this about to be a roll initiative kind of situation?
Well, you can sense that the stronghold of the Twilight Sisters is currently under attack by a large force.
Okay. I would like to try a new spell. In which I imbue others with the ability to overcome adversity and potentially deal damage to their enemies via the silver wind.
I'm going to ask you to roll at a -30 for this. If you fail, we're rolling on the greater manifestation table.
I'm just hearing.
There's no
velvet.
D6s with this. If you fail, you cannot channel. You don't know. You can't channel. You don't know the silver wind. If you fail, we are rolling on the greater manifestation table.
Oh, -30. Okay, hold on. Oh no. You know what?
Have we found B's line?
She just read about it. I think she's feeling confident.
All right, roll me that test.
Oh no!
I love you so much right now, Kelsey.
Nario's gonna lose another one today.
I really wish I could channel. Oh no. I did not pass. I rolled a 61.
Roll me another D100.
Fortune point.
Is this a reroll kind of situation?
I'm gonna say for this. I'm gonna say for this. No, this is way reaching beyond your abilities. Roll me a D100.
38.
38.
That can't be good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez. Come on, Tom.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
As you attempt to cast this, you hold your hands out. You are channeling your power. A vision comes to you. A far off battlefield. Forces marching. You see humans, elves, gnomes, dwarves, the collective souls of the empire. You see yourself clad in silver robes, wielding a staff, older, channeling power. The forces arrayed against you are not human. They're lithe, they're tall, they're covered in reddish skin that seems to sheen as if metal, carrying weapons that blaze as if they're fresh out of the forge. Behind them, a massive winged figure, horns, red skin, burning eyes, turns towards you, and your eyes lock. Its wings flap, and it flies towards you. You feel its burning blade cut through you. You see the bottom half of you fall away, blood spilling out, and you suddenly snap back to yourself. a vision of your death in the far future. You are shaken, and I need you to roll me 2d10.
I rolled a 4 and a 6.
You take 8 points of mental peril.
I only go down 1.
There you go. You only go down 1, but you witnessed the...
Oh, but with
the Prince of Violence...
Mind?
So you don't go down at all.
So
but the Prince of Violence has granted you a vision of one of your possible deaths in the future at the hands of his servants. As you're dabbling in the silver wind caused an immortal, unknowable being to glance at you for half a second. That's your turn.
Awesome.
You are
Awesome.
shaken for the rest of your turn. Now, to be perfectly clear, I want to go back to this real quick because I want to. Faye, you are essentially committing Zia to fighting a horde of zombies single-handedly with no chance of success.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're upset. They're impulsive.
I'm going to say that this gives the garrison an ample warning, but what are Zia's final moments like?
Zia is probably like just like using the axe to swing at anything that comes near as they try to run for the shadowy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to ignore as much of the zombies as possible. They want to get to the thing that's bringing them.
Oh, the axe that you have with you absolutely sings as its blade seems to cut through so many of these creatures. And when it cuts through one of them, they stay down. As opposed to before where they rather insistently kept fighting past wounds, this axe cleaves through them and they immediately fall to the ground. You cut your way through the creatures and find yourself standing before the newcomer, this creature of shadows. Roll me an attack.
I didn't think it was the newcomer. Shit. Yay. 45.
Is that a success?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to roll parry. That is a success.
Bastards.
As you come forward, you see the newcomer. You swing your axe. A shadowy shield comes up and claps your weapon aside. And a blade comes up. Yeah, that's an 11. That's a critical success.
Okay.
This blade of shadow comes straight down through you. And you hear a voice, you hear it sigh almost in pleasure as it says, "The sand was thirsty." As you look down, this line opens in blood. As your legs go weak and you fall before it, what is the last thing that Zia thinks or does?
Zia wants to spit blood in its face.
You spit the blood and the newcomer does nothing to avoid it. The blood lands on it and you see an inclination of the head. And it raises its weapon to salute a fellow warrior. And then the blade sweeps down and takes Zia's head off. The rest of you hear the cries of battle beginning to emerge as the outer guard forming up is now fighting these creatures. You all are beginning to marshal. I will say that you all kind of found each other at this point. What do you wish to do as you see creatures beginning to emerge from every which way?
Am I still in bear form?
Yeah, you are. You got that +2 to your damage threshold. You're mecha kaiju bear right now.
And I did cast Tongue of Beasts before I did that.
You can speak. Yes, you can speak to your friends.
I mean, I don't need to say words. Actually, no, I will speak. I'm a channel and call Feast for Crows, but instead of my burbs, I want every bear in this motherfucking forest to charge.
All right, so you're gonna. I'm gonna say this is like overcasting a spell. I don't know how that works. I'm making this up as I go. We're gonna add an extra level of this, so like this is gonna be a full-on -30.
Okay.
So you want to triple channel this? I'm assuming to make it a flat test. Yeah. So go ahead and roll me that.
Okay. Cool. That's a lucky 7.
Ooh. All right. Describe to me the assault of bears that falls upon these.
I just rolled triple 1s for my chaos dice. I don't know if that gets me anything.
That doesn't. I mean, that's unusual, but it doesn't impact you. But like,
okay, great.
Describe to me the horde of bears that falls upon these creatures.
I've already set precedent with quite a few Queen of the Monster roars here in this forest. I'm gonna let one out, and I think there's a, kind of like a 3 Mississippi lull, and then like fucking Golden Compass, just whatever earth sign is in hearing range, just like bodies the first thing they find.
Yeah. Bears emerge from the woods as they fall upon these creatures, attacking the sides. As you see the guards, apparently they're forming like a shield wall almost, as others are firing arrows over their heads in a highly precise manner, and bears suddenly start emerging and just carving into their ranks. I'm sorry, what does Mabe do in this? Do you in bear form like leap over?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I'm thinking almost it's like that scene in the 5 Armies where like Thorin comes running out and the shield wall parts. Yes. I'm just gonna make a beeline for the shadow creature.
You'll see an expert parting. You do not, at this point, the shadow creature is further back.
Gotcha.
The creatures have moved forward. The shadow creature is not currently in sight for any of you.
I'm just charging down the middle, make it like a 3-prong thing.
This is like straight up bowling ball stuff. The zombies are flying out of the way as you go crashing into them. Canario, what do you do in this moment?
He's gonna be right behind Maeve, charging into battle.
Oh. As you go running in after this fight, you see the guard part aside, some of them looking at you like in shock as a mere mortal goes flying by them into the craze. What do you do? Just give me a description as you wade into these creatures.
Oh, he's throwing like elbows and suplexing people and he's just going in. Yeah, he's I mean, I know the source of the voice. I just don't know where.
Yeah, it's further back in the mists.
Yeah, so he's gonna just keep on charging, but like as he goes by, just like pop people in the face.
We're going to do B, and then we'll come to the champion of the Twilight Court in a second. What does B do?
Try another spell.
Ooh.
Not... I think she's going to do less than the first time. She's not going to go for the Silver Wind again. Just
yeah.
But what she is going to do is use one of her newly acquired spells. And she would like to cast Bolt of Flame and just like yank a wall of fire up from the ground, essentially, and just shove it toward.
That we're gonna say again, and you're shaken still. That's gonna be another -30 as you are just like still.
Even though it's one of my spells that you.
Bolt of Flame is like a singular blast. A wall of fire is pushing it, so it's gonna be like a serious.
Okay, so what if I do just, I'm going to amend that. What if I do just like one large pillar of flame just like pushing up?
Okay, we'll go, that's a -10.
Okay.
But I'm still saying at the moment you cannot channel as you are just like still so shaken.
I was just about to grab the D6s. Okay, I dropped it on the ground. All right. And I'm looking for, you said -10?
Yeah.
I needed a 52 and I rolled a 52.
Nice. Roll me a D10 damage.
Just 1 D10?
Yeah.
Will that be plus my willpower bonus?
Yes, it will be.
So that's 7 total.
All right. Yeah, you push this through and you immolate at least 2 of them as like they're coming forward and they just get caught in this like maelstrom, but it fizzles out a bit before you expect. And there's just this wave of backlash from the winds of magic as again you are feeling the after effects of reaching for this power. Mcnashka, your new home is under attack. You have arrived on the field of battle. You see the troops of the Twilight Court holding a line. You see your friends leading a charge into those forces. What do you do?
Not really knowing where these words are even coming from. Mm-hmm. She just lets out this absolute bellow of a scream that says, "Frost and Rime, guide our blades," and just charges into the mass of these undead Grendels.
And what are you looking to do here?
Fuck shit up, GM. Right. That is what I would like to do.
I'm going to say for this, as you charge for, what sort of weapon does Mcnashka wield again?
It's still the mortuary sword that I have.
The mortuary sword that you draw seems to have tendrils of ice run up it, and a mist begins to emerge from it as it emanates a pure cold as your fury translates into ice. Describe for me how you just absolutely ruin some of these things.
I think it's just that, like, as the sword will slice through the air, because, you know, she's out for blood, coming down for just straight up cleaving people. It's like this splatter of icicles in all directions as soon as it makes contact with flesh or whatever is left of flesh on these things, that just sort of like rips through them and causes them to drop where they stand.
As you begin to slice through these, there is another cry, 2 to be precise, as you see a red-haired figure fall into the mass next to you. And you see Dahlia, the Twilight Sister, an absolute just maelstrom of blood around her as she moves through these creatures. And a wall of ice just emerges in front of you, cutting off several of these creatures as they are trapped between you and the ice. Mabe, Canario, Mcnashka, The prey before you is trapped and unable to flee, and the slaughter is complete. All of these creatures fall before you. But as the ice wall falls and the Twilight Sisters draw in their power and the battlefield is cleared, who is it that finds the remains of Z first? Canario. Canario, you find what is left of Z initially.
Zia. Well, he's gonna drop down to his knees, and earlier in the show, he had studied goblin anatomy, but I assume that this wound is pretty obvious, right? Is there a breath left?
This wound is, decapitation.
Yeah, missing a head completely.
But the wound is odd. It is too clean to be steel. There is no chipping of bone. It is as if the flesh just parted on its own.
So, Canario is going to retrieve the head. I'm assuming it's nearby.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to set it back down on the body and then put Zia in a respectable position, with eyes closed and everything, and declare them dead.
I'll say at this point, the rest of you have gathered as Canario is preparing a proper burial.
For human's sake,
yeah. The burial for Zia. The rest of you have managed to come here.
This is not how they should have gone. This is not how it should have been.
I would like to try to cast Spring's Bounty, just like around the body to sprout random weird ass forest flowers that they probably would have wanted to eat.
I'm going to say that as you have had this shaken day, you reach for it in your grief and you find it within you without a roll. What does it look like? I mean, you've already kind of described it, but if you want to give a more detailed description.
It's a little bit like that scene in the Hunger Games with all the daisies or whatever they are, but it's just all sorts of different colors and shapes and sizes of flowers and berries, just kind of around the edges, finding their way up through the hair and just kind of forming like a nice, neat outline, partially enclosing over them a little bit like Snow White's coffin, like the vines over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that looks like.
Go for it.
So, sorry. Canario would have definitely gotten out, while preparing Zia's body, would have definitely gotten out any sort of narcotic or beverage on their body and given them one last drink.
Yes, you definitely find a flask with some of the apple ale from the town of Tald. Mcnashka or Mabe, what do you two do? I'm going to throw it to Mabe first, and we'll finish with Mcnashka.
I'll perform the funeral rites of the Winter King, because he'd like this little berserker.
As you make the sign of the hammer over this and say the brief prayer of the Winter King protecting and watching over the fallen. As best as you can remember it, as you were never actually a priest of the Winter King, but you had seen the rite performed before. With an earnestness that you had never felt before. Mcnashka, what do you do? As Mabe gives this rather moving tribute in a religion that Fade never truly expressed before.
I'm going to turn to look at B, and then at Maeve, and then back at B again. Really? This is the best that you can do? All of those years of studying and magic and protecting you and your stupid book, and the best that you can do is cover them in flowers. Canario, I don't expect to be able to reattach a severed head. But you? You think you're something great and I expected better. Really, Maeve? Funeral rites? This is the end of the line for you?
I could compose a limerick.
She just reaches out and slaps her on the face as hard as she possibly can. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, no, I deserve that. That's fair.
Player consent's still important.
B just kind of gathers whatever energy for anger she has left and says, "You've seen what necromancy does. Do you really want that?
Do you really
want more of that?
Do you really think that this is an acceptable substitute? Some pretty flowers and a few nice words, and that's it?
Substitute for what? More tomb rot?
Fine. If I'm not getting help from you, I will do this myself. I would like to go up to where Zia is.
Mm-hmm.
And taking the tip of the mortuary sword in my little empty glass vial from that one dose of laudanum I took on the worst day ever, the day that, I got fucked up and got tomb rot and almost died.
Yeah.
I'm gonna press the tip of the sword into just sort of like the vein right where your elbow is,
and
let a little blood out and collect it in the vial.
Ooh. So you collect a dead half-elf, half-goblin's blood.
Yep.
And as you do this, a voice, cold, but somehow slightly compassionate, calls out and says, "Champion, you did very well." And turns to the rest of you. You see Naira standing there, Dahlia quickly coming up beside her. They say, "The rest of you were under no obligation to fight for our court, and yet you did. This," indicating Zia, "you fought alongside our warriors who died for our cause. This leaves us in your debt. Name your reward. A gift from the Twilight Court."
Let it be known that I didn't do this for any of you. I did it for them. For those that I agreed to take watch over. They might be under your purview now, but it was not for you.
Understandable. You will have the thanks of the Twilight Court, and you will have freedom of passage through our lands for the rest of your life. You may come and go as you please. You are a welcome member of our court. Thank you for your sacrifice today. He turned to Mab. What would you ask of the Twilight Court?
I'm going to hold out my bloodied hands and kind of incline my horn mask. I'd like proper weapons for a proper hunt.
Oh, excellent. And you see Naira turn back to Dahlia and say, the one of the Earl King asks for a weapon of a proper hunt. And Dahlia smiles and she opens her hand and a golden spear appears. And she holds it out to you and she says, I wielded this on my first hunt. I gift this to you. May the prey bleed and die.
As I take it, I'll answer, and may these stay down.
Indeed. Gold is stronger than iron. And they turn to B. And Naira says, what would you ask of the Twilight Court?
He is clenching fists, holding back tears, red-faced, glances at Agnieszka and at Z, and then looks back at the sisters and says, I want to use the silver wind.
Your mortal understandings of magic are quaint. You see them as separate, as something other. And we understand you are not of the etheric realm. You cannot conceive of it. And Naira holds out her hand and says, come with me. I shall protect you, and I shall show you the true way of magic, our understanding of it.
Wallaby.
I'm just going to look back, just a glance at Canario and Maeve as I take her hand.
Wallaby, come back here.
Naira closes her hand about B's hand, turns to Agnieszka and says, Champion, free the tree saplings. Deal with the betrayer Grendel. We shall meet you at the stone table. And you see a rip in reality open behind Naira. She says, we will be with you presently. And she pulls B back into the etheric realm as the portal closes. And that is where we're going to call it for tonight. Whew. This is an excellent point to quickly note. We are playing with safety tools. We've been checking in with each other frequently as we had a player death, which can be both A, really fun, but also B, requires check-ins quite frequently, as it can be quite an event in a party. And oh boy, did a lot happen. We're going to go around. We're going to check in with all of our players and see where we can find all of you all when I'm not traumatizing you in Zweihander. Starting with, well, I always go in reverse order. So we're going to
that means you are asking me first how I am.
That does, Anna. Anna, how are you? And where can we find you other than tonight?
Oh my God. Anna's fine. Anna's probably gonna, just need a second to compose myself, but I'm actually okay. Yeah. What was the question? I'm so sorry.
Let's go with where can we find you when you're not playing with Mcnashka?
Yeah. When I'm not playing with this and when I'm not, crying at the bottom of a well of sadness after this is over, I'm actually fine. It's gonna be okay. You can find me on the internet pretty much everywhere at Nymeria941. That's where I am on Twitter and Discord and stuff like that. I play in a bunch of other games. The next one that's coming up is my Monday night game of Estate on Colonomicon's channel. I also play in Black Void into the Oblivious Depths. I can't remember the title because I'm just honestly so flustered by everything that just happened, which is a weird sort of spacefaring thing. I GM Parslings on Weave the Tale, and then right before this, I play in a Lancer game on Valdrian's channel on Fridays. So pretty much you can find me everywhere. Twitter's probably the best place to follow me. Yeah.
All right,
That's about it.
perfect. We're gonna move on down to Faye. Faye, some choices were made this game. How you doing?
Yeah, there were choices. I'm doing good.
Okay.
I think it is the best way for Zia to go because they were going to do something stupid like this anyway. They have nearly died in almost every fight we've been in, by the way.
That's actually very true. That's really true.
They have always been very reckless when it came to fighting. And for MD wondering, they had the choice between trying to run back to the fortress to alert people or causing as much chaos as possible so that they couldn't get to the fortress as quickly.
I mean, was that a choice though?
No.
But they chose chaos.
I'm making it look like it was a choice.
I made it a choice. You were like, what choice? There's only one way.
Yeah, there's only one way. Like, balls to the wall, let's go.
Gordon would be so proud of you.
So where can we find you? Anywhere in particular?
So you can find me on my Twitch channel, Almost Faye. You can also find me at both Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter at Almost Faye. And in the future, you'll be able to find me at the Fae Realm on Twitch because we are founding a new TTRPG space, which is run by LGBTQIA2+ folks to make a safe and inclusive space for everybody to play games.
Hey.
And I wonder who else is involved.
Everyone go follow this on Twitter.
Sorry, I forgot in all of the distress over my character's friend's death, but yes.
It's
yes!
fine. I feel like Faye is the right person to introduce this. So yes, everyone go follow the Fae Realm on Twitter. Go do it.
And the other place you can catch me is on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Wave the Tail for Mara, where I'm playing another chaotic little shit.
I'm sure that'll end perfectly well.
I have a brand and I'm sticking to it. They didn't start a fight with an upperclassman.
Yeah.
Speaking
of people causing trouble, Kelsey, how are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing great. This just like everything that happened. I was expecting tonight to be dramatic, but not quite that dramatic. And this just like refilled my entire soul. Amazing. I'm Kelsey. I have been Twilight Harper this evening. You can find me on Twitter as crochet_BBY. You can find me on TikTok as crotchety old woman, spelled with the same underscores that is on Twitch. And on Twitch, you can find me under that username, mostly just as a chat gremlin. But soon on Twitch, you can find me hanging out over in the Fae Realm as the administrative lead. And I'm going to be doing some stuff with that. So the things are in the works. But yeah, that's me. I do this stuff now. I'm having a lot of fun. I do fiber art stuff. I do music stuff. It's a fun time. Yeah, that's me.
Yay. All right, moving on over to Velvet. Velvet, how are you and where can we find more of you and your Howlbear zombie eating self? Your mecha kaiju self.
Oh my gosh, I love you all so much. I'm great. Maeve is great. That slap was well deserved. I'm surprised I don't get slapped more often. Also, Kelsey, I don't know what an administrative lead is. You're the admin gremlin.
That's calendar nymph to you. Thank you very much.
Oh, damn. I'm Velvet. I use favorite pronouns. You can find me here on Fridays. You can find me on Archive of the Dragon for Deep Magic, the Stories of a Broken Sun, and Flight Risk podcasts, as well as the X Millennials game, but Julio will tell you more about that. You'll also be able to find me on the Fae Realm. I'm the resident redcap there. I assume they'll just direct me at things to eat when they cause problems. Otherwise, you can find me pretty much everywhere else on the interwebs at OG Brown Sugar.
Oh, outstanding. Moving on over to our party dad, Julio. How are you doing?
I'm stressed.
Oh, right?
Man. I
Right?
felt that in my chest. Ow!
I think you and I like share some common stress of trying to keep a handle on this group.
I'm not even like the GM of this game, but I'm like being the GM by wrangling people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, oh man, 2 really heavy conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That ouch, those hurt. But wow, what a session. That was fun. And I feel like we've learned a lot. Like through the shared pain.
Yeah.
Wow. But
The
yeah.
adventure was the lessons we learned along the way.
Yeah.
Party dad.
Yeah. Well, my name is Julio, he, him. You can find me on the internet at Poppy Champlu on Twitter, Twitch, all over the place. And you can also find me at Everybody Crits on Twitch every other Monday night running X Millennials, which is an X-Men AU game. And also tomorrow over at Friends Who Roll, I will be leading a 20th level charity game that I'm really excited about. It's gonna be a
that's
one
right.
shot, and I've been stressing out about it because if anyone knows about Dungeons and Dragons and 20th level games,
It's
a
rough.
one shot is gonna be scary.
It's rough.
We'll see how that goes. Either way, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be for a good cause, but boy, do I have some fun stuff in plan for them.
That'll be fun.
I believe that's 8 Eastern.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well, first of all, as we come back to me, I'm Tom, and I want to just thank everybody at this table for that fantastic session. That was really intense. Faye, like, I always appreciate, like, we had several characters just go with stuff. Anna was on board with the character being put on the line tonight. Kelsey had some stuff on the line. Faye threw her character on the line. Everybody, this was such an intense session, and it was so much fun. Thank you all for it. Where can you find me? At TP_Grant on Twitter. I'm mostly grappling on Twitter. So if you want to see people getting thrown or kicked or punched, that's mostly me on Twitter. If you want me TTRPGs here at Critical Misses right now, I believe tomorrow night I am playing a Dragon Age one-shot on Master of the Game's YouTube channel, a world I know absolutely nothing about. I played a Dragon Age game for like 5 minutes once, like 5 years ago. So I'm going to be learning on the fly. I know I have like 10 friends in Discord who are like, I will scream Dragon Age lore at you for like hours if you need me to. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. Over on Master of the Game's YouTube channel, which as a fun fact, as long as I'm mentioning Master of the Game, is where I started my Zweihander GMing career. Literally the first game of Zweihander I ever GM'd, I did on stream on their channel with a game in the Warhammer world, which maybe I'm drawing some elements from for this particular game, just maybe. Plot points and things like that, and also a one-shot with some lovely people whose characters might be NPCs in things going on here. So if you are interested in checking out that, you can head over to Master of the Game. They have several of my GM'd games over on VOD over there. So wonderful people. Juice is a great guy, a really nice person, and gives a lot of people starts in the streaming world. So that's my plug for tonight. But other than that, thank you everybody for being here with us. Kat on the rewatch, we love you, and we love your rewatch things. And everybody have a great night. Play with safety tools, and we'll see you all here on Friday night next week as we continue our journey down beyond the Twilight Road.